Sankashta Chaturdhi Vrat katha in English. One day the sages worshipped Kumaraswamy until he was pleased and requested this: Bhagwan, in Kali Yuga, people commit sinful acts and as a result suffer from debt, childlessness, lack of housing, chronic diseases, poor education, lack of money, enmity, obstacles in work, lack of development, poor ripening of crops, non marriage, lack of reconciliation between spouses, etc. They suffer many hardships like experiencing royal punishment. Is there any vrat that could be performed to get rid of that mental distress? Then Kumaraswamy was pleased and said, I will teach you the Sankashta Chaturdhi Vrat, the most powerful of all vrats. In one kalpa, Parvati, the daughter of Himavant, after doing penance with devotion to seek Lord Shiva as her husband, couldn't attain fulfillment. Then she remembered Heramba Ganapati, who had been born to her in her previous incarnations. Ganapati was pleased and instructed his mother to perform this vrat. After performing, Uma Devi became the wife of Lord Shiva. Now listen to the process of the vrat. This vrat should be started in any month on Bahula Chaturthi, that is fourth day after Purnima of that month. Bahula Chaturthi of every month is called Sankashta Chaturthi. If it falls on Tuesday, it is very special and auspicious called Angaraka Chaturthi. On Sankashta Chaturthi day, wake up before sunrise on that day. Take bath with black sesame seeds in water. Perform the daily rituals like Sandhya Vandanam or daily puja, etc. Owing to perform the Sankashta Chaturthi Vrat, take a red cloth, put in front of Ganapati, put a pinch of turmeric and kumkum in it, pour 3 fists of rice in it, 2 dry dates, 2 betel nuts and betel leaves. Tell your desire of the heart to the Lord and tie it. It's called Mudupu. You should circumambulate it to Lord Ganapati 21 times. Do not take food all morning. Only milk and fruits can be taken, that is fasting. However, old people, sick people, pregnant women, etc. don't do fasting, eat as usual. Try to maintain silence and do Ganapati Nama Japa in your mind. After sunset, take bath, light a lamp and perform Sri Sankashta Chaturthi Vrat. Make sweet pongal and kudumu, that is undralu or modak, using the morning murupu rice and offer to the Lord. If any guest arrives on that day luckily, consider them as God and offer prasad and food. On previous night and that night, one should observe brahmacharya and make sure that the mind does not get lost in worldly matters. If you do this, your wishes will be fulfilled quickly. 12 times this vrat will get the vrat siddhi. If you can do Ganapati Homam on the next day, it will be even better. Story of Sage Brushundi. One day, Sage Narada, who was traveling in the sky, saw Kumbhipaka hell. Who is inside? Brushundi Maharishi's parents, his wife and daughter from his previous ashram were seen there. They are all going through hell. Narada, who was moved by their sufferings, immediately came to Buloka and went to the sage Brushundi, who was doing penance there. O Maharshi, your wife, daughter and parents are suffering terribly in Kumbhipaka hell in your former home. It is not dharma to do penance like you do as if it doesn't matter. Make appropriate compensation so that their sufferings will go away and their virtues will be restored, he said and left. Hearing Narada's words, Brushundi was very distressed. He remembered his previous life. It was because of their cooperation that he became a penitent today, and he resolved to alleviate their suffering in any way possible. He meditated on his favorite deity, Ganapati. taking the holy water with his hand and thinking that he should shower the merit he got by doing the Sankashta hara Vrat in the past. O Ganesh, if I have performed your Divya Chaturdhi Vrat with devotion, may my parents, along with them my wife and daughter, be freed from the sufferings of hell. He left the water. In the vrats he performed to Ganesh in the past, with just the result of a single vrat, his parents, wife, and daughter all wore divine bodies, climbed the divine plane, and reached the world of Ganesh. Now you can guess the results of doing this vrat every month. Narrative of a prostitute. One day, when Indra was going to heaven in his Viman, a man who had committed many sins noticed the plane flying in the sky. As soon as his vision was infected, the plane descended and came to a halt on the ground. Surasenu, the king of that country, who was surprised by the wonderful light of Indra's plane, came out and looked at the miracle in amazement. Maharaja, who was very happy to see Indra, bowed with joy. He asked the reason why the plane was stopped there. Then Indra said, O king, the plane stopped midway as the vision of the most sinful person in your kingdom fell. Then that king humbly asked how the stopped plane will take off again. Then Indra said, Today is Panchami, yesterday is Chaturdhi. Whoever fasted till evening yesterday and performed Sankashta hara Ganesh Vrat, my plane will take off again if I can get the result of their Vrat. All the soldiers searched the whole kingdom together, and not one of them could be found who had fasted on the previous day and performed Vrat. At the same time, messengers of Ganesh came and were seen carrying the dead body of a prostitute. The soldiers immediately asked why they were taking her to Ganesh's world after committing many sins and ruining many lives. Ganesh's messenger said, She fasted all day yesterday. She did not eat anything without knowing it. She bowed down to Lord Ganesh after the moon rose. Thus, she did the Sankashta hara Chaturdhi Vrat without knowing it. Today she died. Whether she does it knowingly or unknowingly, this vrat takes to a very high position. Anyone who does this vrat once in their lifetime will reach Ganesh Loka after death. Then king's soldiers requested if they could get the holy result of the woman's previous day's Ganesh Vrat to take off Indra's plane. Ganesh's messenger did not agree to give them the fruit of her virtue. In the meantime, the wind that blew over her body blew where the plane had stopped, and Indra's plane took off immediately. This tells us how much the vrat is effective. The story of Kritaviryu. In the past, there was a mighty king. He was virtuous. His wife, Mahapativrata, Sugnavati. Like her husband, she was a lover of good deeds. No matter how much time passed, the pious couple did not have any children. No matter how many sacrifices they performed, no matter how many holy rituals they performed, there was no result. One day, Kritavirya, who was very disappointed, left the burden of the kingdom to the ministers and went to forests with his wife. There, he started doing penance with strict initiation. He continued his penance by abstaining from food with sense restraint and eating only the leaves that fell from the top of the trees. So many years have passed. One day, Narada, who was wandering in the sky, felt sorry for the king's condition and went to Pitraloka and met Kritaviryu's father. He told the sufferings of his son. Knowing that his son was suffering from childlessness through Narada, Kritaviryu's father went to Brahmaloka and bowed down to Chaturmukha Brahma, saying, Lord, my son is all virtuous and generous. He performed many yajnas and vrats. He is a compassionate person who treats people like his own children. What is the reason why such a son of mine does not have children? What sin did he commit? What can I do to remove my son's sin and make him fertile? Please tell me, he prayed humbly. Then Lord Brahma said this to the father of Kritaviryu. Your son was named Samu in his previous birth. He was extremely wicked. One day he was greedy for money and killed 12 Brahmins who were Sattviks and robbed them of their wealth and prasad that they were carrying. That whole day he did not find time to eat anything. He reached home in the evening with the stolen money. That day was Sankashta Chaturdhi. At the time of moonrise, coming home, Samu called his son Ganesh and ate the looted prasad with his son. Samu died some years later. Going home at dusk, calling his son Ganesh several times and eating Lord Ganesh's prasad with his son gave him immense merit. After some time, he was born as your son in the earth world with the name of Kritaviryu. Even though he was doing many pious deeds, he has not been blessed with children in this life due to the sin of killing good people in his previous life. Hearing those words, Kritaviryu's father was very sad and said, Lord, if there is any way to get rid of my son's sin of Brahmana Hatya, please suggest me. He prayed. Then Lord Brahma said, if he performs the Sankashta Chaturdhi Vrat, all his sins will be destroyed. Then Kritavirya's father conveyed this matter to his son through Narada and performed that vow, and Kritavirya became a father. This is a glorious vrat which melts even the hardened prarabdha karma like camphor. These stories convey profound spiritual secrets in cryptic form. Anyone who performs this vrat will go to Ganesh's world at the end of his life and experience great happiness there due to the blessings of the Lord Ganesh.